Hi, Teri here from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is a gift bag. This measures 6 inches tall, 4 inches wide and 1 3/4 inches deep. It's a good size for sweet treats or a small gift. I've used the Wonderful World Designer Series paper both for the images and for the base of the bag. Now this paper pack is part of a bundle together with the Wonderful World stamp set, and this bundle is one of the free items that you can select during our current celebration promotion, and this promotion ends at the end of August. So let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for all the elements required to create this project. So if you're interested in reproducing it, take a screenshot so you can refer to it later. As I said before, I'm using some of the Wonderful World Designer Series paper. Now I'm placing this into my Simply Score board with the longest side across the top, and I'm going to score down at 1 3/4, 5 3/4, 7 1/2 and 11 1/2 inches. Then I'll rotate my paper clockwise and score down again at 1 3/4 inches. I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss card for the lid, and I'm going to place it into my Simply Score board with the shorter side across the top. Then I'll score down at 1/2 inch and 1 1/2 inches. There's only a little cutting to be done on these pieces. Now in the main section it's divided into 4 larger sections, and you've got a 1/2 inch tab along the right hand side, and then you've got all these little sections along the base. Now in the right hand corner at the base you have a little rectangular section that needs to be removed. And as I do that, I'm going to slant cut the bottom and the top of the remaining 1/2 inch tab. Next, I'm going to cut up all the vertical score lines along the base to create tabs along the base line. Now I'm actually making 2 cuts on all the scores to remove that scored line. This just makes it easier to fold the base in. On the lid piece you have a 1/2 inch score line and a 1 1/2 inch score line. Now on the 1/2 inch section I'm going to make a slanted cut on each end, and again this will help make it easier to add the lid to the base. I'm going to shape the opposite end of the lid using the Very Best Trio punch, and I'm just going to punch the corners. So I've punched my first corner. Now you want to flip it over to punch your second corner so you get the same shape. Now if you haven't got this punch, you could just round the corners, or you could slant the sides of this section instead. I can now fold on all the scored lines and burnish them with my bone folder. I'm now going to add the lid to the base section. Now you want to make sure that the tab on the lid, the 1/2 inch tab, is on the inside of the gift bag, and it goes on the longest section next to the 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to add glue onto the right side of the 1/2 inch tab on the lid, and then I'll place that end section of my base on top of it, lining up the score lines with the edges of the lid. I can now make up the rest of the bag. I'll join the sides by adding glue to the 1/2 inch tab, and then I'll place the opposite end on top of it. and I was very lucky in that my pattern matched up almost exactly. The section of the bag that is attached to the lid is the back section. So when you come to put the base together, the back tab folds down first of all. You want to add glue to the remaining 3 tabs. You fold the side tabs in first of all, and then the front tab, and this leaves a nice clean edge on the front. I'm going to use magnets as my closure, and I've got 2 pairs here. I'll attach them with glue dots and I'll place them either side of the front of the lid. Now to close the bag, you just want to squeeze the sides in gently and then bring the lid over, and the front edge of the base will sit on that score line at the top of the lid. Now I'm going to use 3 glue dots per magnet. I want these to be very secure and not tear away from the bag. And then I'll place these on either side near the front edge of that lid. And you want to press them down really well. Once they're firmly stuck, I can add more glue dots to the other side of the magnets. Remember, there's 2 joined together on each side. Now before I close the lid and position the second set of magnets, I'm going to add something inside my gift bag just to help when I press them down, just so there's something to press against. So I'm going to close my lid again, making sure that front edge is lined up with the score line and the sides are aligned with the sides of the base. And then I can press my magnets down onto those ink pads. And you want to press them as firmly as you can. Now the first time you try and open the bag, it's a little tricky because the glue hasn't set yet, but you want to try and open it and then remove the ink pads and give them the magnets a good press down again. I have all the pieces here that I need to decorate the bottom of my bag. The circle was die cut using one of the Stylish Shapes dies, and it's the largest circle. I've already gone ahead and embossed this, and I used the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. The Blackberry Bliss scalloped circle, which will go underneath the white one, has been die cut using one of the layering circle dies, and it's the largest scalloped circle. Now when these 2 are layered together, you won't see much of the scallop circle underneath, just the tips of the scallops, and that's fine. It just helps this panel pop away from the gift bag. Now these beautiful flowers weren't stamped, they were actually cut out from one of the sheets of paper, the Wonderful World paper. Now you have 2 of these sheets in the pack, and you have lots of large floral images that you can cut out and use on your projects. I can now layer my white circle onto my Blackberry Bliss circle, and then I can add my flowers. Now I've already gone ahead and added dimensionals to the back of the flowers and the back of the Blackberry Bliss mat. I can now add this panel to the front of my gift bag. Now I thought the lid was looking a little bit plain, so I've decided to add a little more decoration. I've die cut another white circle using the Stylish Shapes dies, and this one is the 2nd size up or the 5th size down. I've also gone ahead and embossed the circle, again using the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder, and I've added dimensionals to the back. Now the flowers have been cut from another sheet of the same paper. Again, you get 2 sheets like this one, and these have these little flowers repeated all over them, and they're beautiful. Now I've hand cut mine out, but there is enough room between the flowers that you could die cut them out if you wanted to. So I can remove the backings from my dimensionals and then add the flower spray to the white circle, and then I can position that in the center of the front of my lid. Now the first few times you open and close your lid, you want to press those magnets back down. They will eventually stick really well, and the bag will become much easier to open then. And of course I've made a card to coordinate with my bag using all the same products. I used the little flowers again for the card. The sentiment actually comes from the Go-To Greeting stamp set. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.